Say hello to Jilly Beans. Jilly Beans, the one and only Jilly Beans, first in the live chat. TGIF indeed. UFO Gandalf. We got Mario Heat and Twitch. We've got good old Keats. Shalom. And a thank you to Keats, a long overdue thank you. Giving me promotion over on Patreon. Check out the description box below. You know, I talk and study. I love you, but I can't stand you. Maria, do not blame woke culture for that. You're not going to get a double win. This is the first time hearing about Dr. Disrespect being welcome back. It's got nothing to do with. It might have to do with monetary culture. I was in the midst of giving a shout out to Keats, giving me much love on Patreon. I'd send the love back if it was worth the damn, and if I knew how to do it. To be frank, I say hello to Charles Williamson as well. Check out Keats on Patreon. Worthy of your support. He does stuff. Speaking of the roots of all evil, I wouldn't say it was woke culture. We might have a disagreement there. But other contenders I might throw in the ring. Have you heard about this worthless sea sucker Bucky? I kid. Mario, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in no mood. And do not join the ranks. Do not be in such a rush to join the ranks of such notable I'm serious. No, we know you love Bucky Token Study. I've got powers, magical powers. I'm making a list. I'm effing it twice. We've got Tolkien Study. We've got Bucky. I wish you know specific harm insofar as specific harm would just box me in, right? When I get my hands on you, I just want to let the mood, you know what I mean? I want to see where the mood takes me. I kid. No, come on, let's be serious. I would never joke about that. It's something I'm so passionate about, right? Come on, no. Come on, hey. You left a few messages as Mickey Rourke, right? It's a shame, Tolkien Study. It's a shame, Brandon. You know what I mean? It's your crucial inability when push comes to shove. It's your crucial inability to be honest. I don't know why you always whiff at the final moment when it just comes time. You always, hey, right? You're teaching um, in July, and you send me an email being like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't get the news. I don't read newspapers every day like I used to do in Amherst when I was at blah, blah, blah college. Oh, really? Like we get our news via newspapers these days. You were at work, at a school, and no one told the law school graduate, hey, I got to get your opinion about this amazing Supreme Court decision. Oh, summer school. Yeah, you were teaching summer school. And still, you didn't check your cell phone. No one told you the news. The hell out of here, Brandon. Come on, man. No one's buying you. No one did? Come on. It must have just been an unfortunate turn of events. But hey, it's nothing personal, right? You know what I mean? I guess I just got my take on things. We had class today and no one talked about Georgia. You had class today. Huh? It must have been your school's back in session. It's September 6th. And no one talked about Georgia. Okay. Well, Brandon, I'm going to be completely honest with you, man, because there's no reason. You're not lying, and I'm not going to lie to you. I just don't believe you. But it's okay. Right? It's A-okay. And we turn the page. We're here now with bigger fish to fry. Golden coin. Golden coin, listen, baby. You have your up days and you have your off days. And we are not on the main channel. You're at your hottest when you're on your main channel. And you're second on Twitch, Mario Heats. Mario Heats? You know what I mean? It often, Jonaside, wait, every channel is the main channel. It often seems that way. Don't encourage him. Hey, with friends like you guys, who needs to be Nurse Ratchet? Can you hear the sounds? Can you hear the music? Or is it just for my own edification? Inscrutable. Yes, okay. So what today is going to be is kind of like a week in review, a kind of wrap up, if you will. From the simple to the mundane to the nonsensical to the worthless. Things you might have missed, things that will be merely hinted at, things that I will totally forget to cover. We say hello to Catherine. Catherine, welcome to the proceedings. Token Study, I'm not mad at you for telling me about the James Casbolt rap EP. I'm mad at you for not being able. I'm mad at you for being a troll. And it is what I'm not mad at you. And I don't thank you. And I wish you well. But you don't know me. Brandon, you wish. You know, the saddest thing of all is this, though. I'm not above, banning you on this channel too. Brandon, don't push your killendals. Okay. But I will say this. We've been 10 years on this road. And I know the interactions that we have had. And that's why I say the sad thing is that it's at the crucial moments that you downshift into, I'm just trolling, this is just a joke. I don't know why you do the things that you sometimes do. And I'm not going to speculate to create bad vibes, real bad vibes. The notion that I don't know you is ridiculous. Okay? I know what you want to think of yourself as, right? This, master gamesman, lol troll thing you want to always kind of downshift into. But the thing is this, the same thing that I kind of started to say to Bucky about what happened. I am 49, right? If someone is 10 years younger than me, they're 39, right? Almost 40. There's certain antics that might be cute when you're at certain ages. There's certain mistakes that I've learned from. There's certain bull crap that I'm still trying to leave alone. And there's certain crap that I would suggest to people, if you're still up to at certain ages, why. And I would also suggest that, it is what it is. But what I said to Bucky last time was this. Because of certain things that go down sometimes, it's more likely than not that internet folk will never meet up in person. And believe you me, I ain't talking about if I ever meet you in person, oh baby, right? It's, if there were ever to be a time where a pleasant opportunity for people to meet in person or to avail itself, if shit goes sour, right? The opportunity for people to have met in one state and condition has disappeared. Because Bucky accused me of being like DSP, which is, I think, is just like, this ridiculous accusation, right? I'm not saying if I ever met Bucky, I'd be like, you, right? But I ain't gonna embrace him. I ain't gonna be like, yo, Bucky. I'm gonna be like, yo, what's up? Not that he should give a shit. But if he doesn't give a shit, why the fuck is he here? I was under the impression that people were here because they were cool or they wanted to be here. The other thing that didn't make sense is when shit went down with what Bucky did. Apparently, they were doing it in the name of, Michael Omnieros. But I thought it had been made clear that me and Michael had buried the hatchet. So it is what it is. So not only do you fucking fuck me up, then it's like then you kind of fuck up Michael's reputation with me, impugn him. Hold on, Charles. And the one thing that I refused to do is that I did not go to oh no, wait, what am I trying to do here? Oh fuck, now I gotta do this. Hold on. I did not go to I did not go running over to Michael and be like, yo. Did you fucking tell Bucky that I'm an asshole? Did you are you just fucking, telling me that you're burying the hatchet and actually telling people like on Rumble or whatever that I'm a douche and to, go fuck up my shit? I didn't do that. But that's like, that's how it fucks you up. So it's like, why would Bucky want to fuck me up? But I guess Bucky just felt like fucking me up that day. Now, but that's the other thing. So I met Bucky says the DSP thing was a joke, but I get it. It was in poor taste, though, especially when I know the history of people legally targeting you. I'm sorry. Bucky, I'll tell you what. I gotta tell you something, Bucky. I thought about, Bucky. I'll tell you another thing. If people, Bucky, do you want if anyone wants to come on the stream with me? We haven't done that in fucking a million years, but I'm actually StreamYard is like increasing their prices. So if I gotta go to just YouTube, um it'll end that shit. I won't be able to have like guests or whatever on, but like, I thought about this today, Bucky. I realized I was like, I know I can take shit hard too. I know I can take shit hard too. But when I get triggered, you know what I mean? Like I get triggered hard. And if you know when you did what you did, when I said, blah blah blah, da, 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 that dude can catch one, I was like, yo, now I just fucking made like what could be interpreted by the YouTube algorithm as a threat that could, strike my channel, blah 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 blah. And like I said, whenever I get triggered about, something happening with Michael, then that puts Reamsey in a shit position. You know what I mean? It fucks shit up. And then I got paranoid as F, because then I saw, you know, I thought I don't know if I had thought that I had just hid Token Study, or I had, banned him, but then I saw him come back in. So then I got in my head that you were a moderator, so that you had like unbanned him or something. So then I got really messed up about it. It was just a bad fucked up situation. But I accept your apology. I'm willing to accept your apology. I'm straight willing to accept your apology. I'm straight willing to accept your apology. But to call a dude DSP, man, that's like. But then again, I could have been. I know that there's been times when I've gone off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that I can. You know what I mean? But at the end, that was like intense. You know what I mean? I felt like that was intense. Anyway, Bucky, I accept your apology. I accept your apology. And for what it's worth, I thought about many things, but I never once thought about, saying a magical curse that would affect, your child or your dog. You know what I mean? Just your nuts. And not in a permanent way. Just like, you know what I mean? 3 or 4 weeks. And then the doctor tells you it's cool. It's cool. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. It would have been permanent. No, I'm kidding. There was no contemplation of magical curses. Those days are behind me. I swear. What? Shut up. I'm being honest. Come on. Being honest. No, I swear. I'm being honest. Come on now. No magical curses were thought about or contemplated. No. I prayed upon it. What? I'm being honest. Come on. I'm better now. Come on. Bucky. Come on. Do your balls hurt? Come on. Come on. Come on. I was kidding. You called me DSP. Oh, there you go. I'll try more rational and think things through before I type them in the future. Yeah, you know what I mean? Listen, I'm going to try to stay to my word and do things like, yada, yada. We'll be fine. We'll make it through. You know what I mean? We'll make it through. Somehow, somewhere. Listen, the important thing is, you're not Clif High. I'm not Clif High. Neither of us is David Wilcock, okay? Neither of us is DSP, okay? We'll chalk it up to keeping people honest, okay? I took away the moderator thing and gave it to your moderator. We'll just think like, how about this? Your moderator wrench went to Charles Williamson. But we all know no one uses their moderator wrench anyway, so fuck it, right? You're not banned on this channel, right? I'll even unban you on the other one. But get this. I just banned Token Study on this channel. I guess I am like, not like DSP, but maybe I'm like, what's his face? King Cobra JFS. No shit, I just banned Tolkien Study. Fuck Brandon. I'm honest. Like, you can call me DSP if you want to. I just fucking banned Brandon. I'm sick and tired of that motherfucker. Come on, I cannot deal with this bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm helping, you help me, I help you, I'll help him. I love the guy, but honest, oh, I don't know you? Get the fuck out of here. Come on now. You know what I mean? He'll be back. He's got 10,000 sock accounts. I got an MC303 Groove Box. A PS3 digital pitch shifter delay just set up like a delay. All hail slow dive. And I got a TC Electronic Fluorescence Shimmer Reverb. That's it. Oh, shit. Jonas said, don't trigger me. Brandon, I don't know. How is Brandon? I don't know. Last time I saw him live on my stream, he was wasted. And it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I don't know. I'm sure he's doing fine. It's St. Patrick's Day somewhere in some alternative timeline. I kid. Listen, I kid. Pyramid Studies will be back. Don't worry. Golden Coin 100, don't worry. Please don't ban me. Sometimes I can be a bad girl, but most times not. Don't worry. Everyone's going to be fine. Everyone's going to be fine. Red Rooster. I feel like I'm being ignored. I'm not even beginning any adulations here. Red Rooster? Hold on. Red Rooster. You get your own little what do they call that? Ferris Bueller's Day Off there. It's for Red Rooster there. And because we got the delay pedal set on maximum feedback, we'll be there for a million years. Am I being banned? You know what I mean? Be careful what you wish for. I'm in a DSP state of mind. Oh, and the guy asked about digital signal processing, and I actually answered the answer about the friggin' pedals. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an old man and I get confused. Listen, folks, speaking of old men who get confused, let's talk about Clif High with his flagrant false advertising. I guess I'm happy that Clif High has taken a break from talking about the Khazarian Mafia. He seems to have mellowed over the last couple of weeks. He did one until he deletes all his videos. I never delete them. I just kind of set them to private. They'll come back, I think, in theory. I said that, so it probably won't happen. Oh, that's not a good sound. Oh, I put the octaves up. Oh, here we go. Okay, we'll be listening to this for a minute. Hold on. The latest video that Clif High did, let's get to this. Hold on. Oh, we got 21 people watching us live. Thank you for that. Red Rooster, if we want a topic, I've been reading a lot about Chinese and Russian propaganda and fake social media. No. We'll get there. We'll get there because we got Tim Pool mentioned in there. We get this. Also, I may have theoretically inadvertently killed Ivan Teller's boss with black magic. We also have a J. Scott Garraby video that I might respond to. J. Scott Garraby is known to people who frequent the. That's terrible. What am I doing? I got the octaves all the way up. That's the problem. The TTRPG channel, but he occasionally makes political content. So why respond to his political content on my TTRPG channel when Well, you might not have to stomach him much longer because it looks like he might be in some real hot water. You know, Tim Pool, he's in the news again, but don't let that overshadow the fact that he's actually, much like the type of lawsuit that brought Alex Jones down. Okay, Tim Pool actually has several of those style of lawsuits against him. Okay. And let's be honest, he does not really have like what Alex Jones had at the peak of Alex Jones. I don't know. I really don't know the economics of Tim Pool versus Alex Jones. I don't want to make any statements. Julie Bean says, Ivan Teller's been stalking you again. Well, tit for tat. You know what I mean? I mean, I did kill his boss with black magic. No. And if you mean that as a question, you're going to have to put a question mark at the end, or I think you're making a declarative statement. Okay? Doesn't Elon help him out? Elon Musk, folks, talking about things you may have missed. You got to subscribe to all my channels. Remember, folks, subscribe to my Patreon. You can join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can join my Patreon for no dollars a month. You can join as a free member, and I'm making content occasionally. This is my word. I will make occasional comments, videos over there that are even visible to free members, like members that don't pay at all. So if you can't even afford $1 a month, and I know that's some of you, or you're not willing to even pay $1 a month, I know that's a lot of you, join the Patreon anyway, because as we all know, YouTube is lousy about giving out those notifications, so it might be a better place for us to do what we want to do. Okay? I really need like more feedback over here. Keep this stuff going a little bit longer. So Elon has got his own set of Alex Jones style lawsuits going against him. So he's party to some of the lawsuits that Tim Pool is party to of that style. In addition to that, there's an antitrust, like an anti-union busting lawsuit that's been brought against him by, like, I guess the United Auto Workers, I believe. And there's, I believe that the federales are going to bring some lawsuits against him too. I believe, he's going to be. I've speculated that we're going to see within the next, 1 to 2, possibly 3, outside maybe 5 years. I think that I've got a better track record than Clif High as far as predictions are concerned. We'll get to Clif High's predictions. We're going to see the meteoric rise of the world's current richest man go to be, moderately one of the America's wealthiest individuals. Absolutely. Elon Musk is going to see his ridiculous fortune go down faster than a thing that goes down really fast. Absolutely. You better believe it. You better believe that guy is going to go down. He is going to lose it all. Remember, I don't make as I'm not one of these Clif Highs who's constantly every 6 months putting out the date, or David Wilcox saying next year, next year. They're saying next year, they're saying next year. I only say it every once in a while. But my predictions have a marked tendency to come true. And it's not because I've got psychic powers. It's because when I know something's too good to be true. No. I haven't done it. Bob White says, listening back to the start of the stream to see what you're dogging Cliff about at 1.5 will catch up. Bob, I haven't mentioned anything about Clif High substantive yet. Don't go to the beginning. You won't. I've mentioned Clif High several times by name only. I'm going to get to, and it's very simple. Flagrant false advertising, I'll tell you, and we'll get to it too. I'm not going to play like a whole Clif High video. Don't worry, Bob. Don't go anywhere. I'm saving you the effort. I mean, go back if you want to. I mean, you know what I mean. You get 15 points, 15 speed. It'll be fine. Here we go. 34 minutes ago. Whatever you want to do, but I'm going to tell you, we're going to get to it right now. Here we go. So he did a video the other day. Let me switch accounts again so I'm not. Where it was all just about MK Ultra. And, I didn't go back and fact check him on that or research, what his research is, but we're going to talk about his video today that I watched. Here we go. And to talk about it being flagrant false advertising is very, very simple. I'll give you a synopsis. Number one, he's looking good. I know that his wife is ill, and I wish them the best. Come on, baby, why won't you? I don't want to get feedback, I guess it's just the way it is. I got to play it occasionally, It's just the way it is. Let me do a share screen just so you see. And it's very simple. It's very simple. Bucky, I really hate Cliff. I do feel bad about the terrible things I do say to him sometimes, but then again, he's a neo-Nazi. So, yeah, well, and I got to tell you, what I think is happening is that, he seems to be mellowing on that point, too. He just seems to be giving up on the Khazarian Mafia thing. I don't know if it's strategic or, it's like the weather. He's a little bit like me in the sense this way. Touched in the head, right? And like me, he's got his good days and his bad days, or like me, he seems to have his good seasons and his bad seasons. And we seem to have passed out of neo-Nazi season Clif High. Okay. Here's Bob White. Uncle Cliff has made me some money over Bitcoin so I can tolerate some crap. Can you tolerate him saying that that Ashkenazi Jews are members of a alien worshiping death cult and saying that they should be, like people like me, should be rounded up and basically saying that things like the Nazis were good guys? Because if you think that him making you money on Bitcoin, forgives, things like that, Bob, I don't know what to tell you, right? I mean, you could have that position. He said things that to me would seem to some people to be absolutely intolerable, but people have different positions about different. You might agree with him about certain things. It is what it is. He said things that are absolutely 100% transphobic, absolutely 100% homophobic and absolutely 100%. We don't need to get into the weeds about anti-Semitic or racist. Anti-Semitism is a form of racism. And you can say, oh, it's not anti-Semitic because Semitic means this type of people. And I'm just talking about these people, the Khazarians. Well, the Khazarians are a type of people. So if you're saying bad things about a type of people, qua these individuals are a type of person, then it doesn't matter if you're talking about, I'm not racist because I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about these type of black people. No, you're racist. So it's getting into semantics to say, oh, I'm not anti-Semitic. No, he endorsed something called, that's referred to colloquially amongst neo-Nazis as Himmler's Bible, and he spoke about it in glowing terms. I used to hang online with Clif High. He sent me supplements in the mail. I didn't take them. Why? Because they were sent to me by Clif High. But we used to talk on the phone. We used to rap. He used to say, we used to, be like, avuncular to me and friendly to me, which is why it broke my heart when he all of a sudden started saying things about people that he knew I was a part of that, people, that group. Oh, and he's also, in everything he said about Bitcoin, it's like, God bless you that you made some money in Bitcoin or whatever. I don't know what, I am not bullish on Bitcoin. I don't have Bitcoin. I do not believe in cryptocurrency, but it is what it is. And I might be saying things about Clif High that you're not aware of, but it is what it is. If Clif High's supplements are so good, why are his and his wife having such a good hard time health-wise? Well, look, you can live a very healthy lifestyle and still get cancer. It doesn't mean that, you shouldn't. A person who drinks plenty of water and lives a vegetarian lifestyle and practices hatha yoga can still get a terrible disease. It doesn't mean that those healthy lifestyle things were bad. Having said that, I don't think that I would never take his sleep supplement because I don't believe it. He says a lot of things about science, about this, about the other thing. And I always point out, look, folks, there's no reason to believe he does not have a degree, any sort of doctorate or any sort of provable bona fides or curriculum vitae in nutrition. And he might be consider himself self-educated in a lot of things. But then again, he's established that he believes he's self-educated in Ashkenazi Jews being disciples of aliens from another planet who are trying to take over Earth so they can do terrible things to people, right? So there you go. But anyway, we say hello to Tim Frey. Let's get to flagrant false advertising. And it's a very simple argument. Today's video by Clif High was entitled How to Pee. Clif High Explorer's Guide to Sci-Fi World. Ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, I watched this video from start to finish. I didn't watch it twice. I watched it once, all the way through. At no point in this video does Mr. High say anything at all, not that he would need to, about how to pee. It's pure clickbait. Now, I would have to say, in retrospect and in looking back, it might be brilliant clickbait, unique clickbait. I certainly immediately played the video because I was like, how to pee? Like, I could not imagine, like, how, like, what, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, how in the, like, what, like, how would you need to know or be instructed, like, how to do this? Like, of course, like, what? Like, everyone knows how to pee. And if you find yourself, unless you're like, there was one time, maybe you may have experienced this as well. Where was he when I was a toddler and needed this? But you actually did know how to pee. That's why you had a diaper on. You didn't know how to control. You didn't know how to not pee. That was the problem when you were a toddler. One time, this is a true story. One time, I knew I was tripping balls, as the kids say, right? And we were at like a restaurant or a diner or something. And I knew, with the power of my brain and its connection to my human body, that I had to urinate quite desperately. But I was like absolutely peaking. I went to the bathroom. I went to the urinal. I unzipped my fly. I took out my Johnson. And there I stood for quite some time. Or it would seem. And nothing happened. And it occurred to me that in my state of psychedelic sequela, elation, misunderstanding, elevation, I had, in fact, it would have appeared, forgotten how to pee. You forgot how to pee? Lol. It was no laughing matter at the time, I assure you. At the time, forgetting how to pee, while knowing that physically I desperately felt the need to pee, panic set in. What could happen? Was my bladder going to explode like a balloon? Had something gone terribly wrong? Had I spontaneously developed some sort of spontaneous bladder blockage? Unfortunately, at the same time, while having taken LSD 25. I put myself back in my pants. I zipped up my fly, and I went back to the table. And as best as I can recall, I told my friends, as calmly as I could without alerting the other patrons in the establishment. It was not easy because I was in quite a kind of panic state. Folks, there's something wrong. I can't remember how to pay. I remember. Think of a river, a waterfall, or a wave. I remember the male companions that were with me. We were in high school. Refused, absolutely refused to accompany me back to the bathroom to assist in any way, shape, or form. For fear that other men in the establishment would, see this and think that there was some sort of, gay shenanigans, I assume, going on. A good friend would say, I remember how to pay. Two lovely, what I would describe as older women. They were not, they were like, I think at the time they were like, in junior, like in college, they were like, like these like hippie jam band fan chicks. Uh, awesome girls, like really, really cool kids. It was like a tiny diner too. It was like, it was like a huge place. They came, and while I went back into the bathroom, spoke to me outside of the door. It didn't help that much because they were like, they came because they thought it was hysterical. Obviously, they were like laughing their ass off. But I eventually was able to do it. Kids don't do drugs. And also, if anyone tries to tell you about all this stuff about, LSD, the doors of perception, you'll become enlightened, you'll see all these things, all these connections, I'm going to tell you something. Think of all the people that have done psychedelic drugs. Okay? I don't just do don't just take drugs and go see, how, you know, 2001 Space Odyssey. You go close your eyes and meditate, and you'll see all this enlightenment, and you go take ayahuasca in the Amazon rain. All these psychedelic drugs. You take psychedelic drugs. Oh yeah, it's amazing. You see all these things, and it's enlightening. No, it's fucking not. It's you're tripping on drugs, right? The Aztecs took ayahuasca for years, centuries. You know how enlightened they got? They took each other's hearts out, with knives and shit, and sacrificed themselves and all this stuff. And as they took these drugs, they would like take strings of knotted rope and put it through their tongues and stuff. And think of all the people all the people that saw the Grateful Dead and did constant amounts of psychedelic drugs and saw the dead. They couldn't figure out that the Grateful Dead were playing like, music and shit. And rave culture. Think of all the amazing intellectual insight that has come out of rave culture. And microdosing. All these computer programmers, they microdosed and thought of what? Like that guy like Jeremy Lanier, the dreadlock, the white dude with dreadlocks. He's a trailblazer in the realm of virtual reality. Yeah? And what's virtual reality? That's like Meta. That's like that thing that they had that was stupid that they had for whatchamacallit, Facebook. And shamans take it. Shamans. And what exactly is so great about being a shaman? And Aleister Crowley and me. I've done tons of psychedelic drugs. Tons of psychedelic drugs. Red Rooster. Ayahuasca needs to be accompanied by shamanic drumming that's been developed for generations. Yeah, I know you. I get it. I understand. I know. And then what happens? You still end up in the same place that I do. Right here, right now. In a world with Clif High. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it is what it is. Where do you expect to go? I went all sorts of places. I went all sorts of places and realized all sorts of shit. I did. And believe you me, honey, I've been in sweat lodges. I've listened to shamanic drumming, right? I've gotten naked under Aztec moons. I've traveled through time. I've seen through myself. I've accepted death. I realized that it was okay, that I was being eaten alive by the maggots beneath me, and that if I didn't come back, it was okay. And then several years later, all that shit was just a memory. And some people like Clif High did that stuff, and they came back from that experience going, I got it. I figured it out. I realized it all. It was the Jews. It was the Khazarian Jews, the aliens from the other planet, and the sun that's going to turn white and bake us all to 1,008 degrees. But it's cool because Bitcoin to the moon and Donald Trump. Or at least that we were saying the other day. But then he stopped saying that. So I watched this video. And then if you remember a couple of months ago, this is what he does. So a couple of months ago, he was saying that there was going to be, there, remember, June, what was it, July 15th or something? There was going to be something go down. And then we missed that date. But like the day or two before or a day or two after, it was when Donald Trump got his ear pierced by the right wing Second Amendment enthusiast. So that could have been something, but then here we are. It didn't really turn out to be anything. But he was saying prior to that there was also going to be in August. He was predicting that there's going to be riots. He was still saying that, and we're going to get to. Actually, let me get to see if I can get to that point. This video is 43 minutes and 36 seconds. For the most part, this video consists of him telling this kind of really, really long personal story, like about him as a guy, with his father-in-law selling satellite equipment in wherever, which is whatever. And then it's him practicing Aikido and, hanging out in a bar in Las Vegas for a minute. And then he gets at some point to mentioning again this thing about the aliens and his predictions about August. And then he starts saying that Dr. Stephen Greer's release of some information was the documents that he was talking about that's going to lead to these riots in August. But of course, no riots happened in August. Here we are in September, but he's still saying that there's going to be riots. I'm going to go ahead and say that there's not going to be riots, but I think that's a good thing. But remember, he was saying that these riots were also going to be kind of, these riots were going to be, people were going to be sick and tired of, people like me. And that people in New York City were going to be so pissed off at people like me that they were going to come out of New York City and gather up, sound familiar, people like me, and burn down the upstate New York communities of people like me. And of course, by people like me, I'm talking about Super Mario fans. No, I'm talking about Jews. Let's see if I can get to it.
Or you can, from a logical standpoint, you can say what happens in the mind is what moves the body. Therefore, it happens to guide you with the dream, and then it guides your.
Sure.
It's the Buddhist approach. You eat them, you grab them, and you say, "My, that's interesting. Why did that arise now?
Sorry about
Why am I
enlightenment.
thinking about?"
I'm just trying to get
You're
to the
actually
thing.
interacting with universe, and universe is talking to
Okay,
and other woo-woo people. And
here we go.
supporting arguments as
I'll get to
the
it.
tools you choose. Do people about this stuff, right? Because it's going to be necessary. This is how you get to be a Jedi. The mental stuff, the mental part of it.
You know,
if you want the physical part of it, you can get that. That's settled in Japan, and including medical colleges and Vipassana. Individual get your attention. They won't be. We have need a subset of that.
I might just ask you to take me on my word that he mentions Dr. Stephen Green's material.
In my
Here we go.
Are certain to use some form of Shinshin Soitsu.
Nope.
Personal level of attention to when it's true that you know the thing and the body doesn't move on its own. That at these possible stuff, right? And that's where I saw women do the breaking of the chopsticks with playing cards.
Yep.
Okay, so I should get on with this. It's been going too long. So the stuff that Joe does, the predictive dreaming, is just a small slice of this. He only does it in that particular state.
Whatever.
Same thing is sort of true of the. And also, I don't know that Joe's seeking ultimate enlightenment in that process. Shinshin Soitsu is a way.
It's not about Aikido. Shinshin Soitsu is a form of Aikido.
So,
which I'd be interested in studying.
Have that. So there is that rigor, that goal. And I was going to say, dream or any of that kind of stuff at all.
Anyway,
back on the breath. You don't examine what took your awareness. You want to get to the point of no thought, and in this case, no up, and eventually they become so.
This is ridiculous.
It's not going to happen.
Oh, here we go.
Summer, early fall, with the light during these times of the day, but maybe at other times. Anyway, take care. Use the.
This is ridiculous. Stuff. Anyway, just take me at my word. He mentions that he says that he was predicting earlier on that there were going to be riots in August due to the release of UFO information. And now he's saying that this release of UFO information that he had in his data set from 2004, 2007, yada, 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 with the data sets. Yeah, Khazar's from New Jersey. Of course, no. Khazar, a.k.a. Ashkenazi Jews, a.k.a. Khazarians, according to him. There's no such thing as Khazarian. The Khazarian Jew thing is a myth. Ashkenazi Jews are Jews. They're not Khazarians. There's no such thing as a Khazarian. That's a whole myth. To believe in the Khazarian myth, you have to believe that in a time before the internet, in a time before telephones, a magical king was able to tell his entire kingdom on one magical day, today, I make a proclamation. All of you across these grand steps of the, Caspian Sea. Tell the people, because they can't hear my voice. Send a smoke signal. We're all going to be, as a kingdom, Jews. And that magically, overnight, an entire nation of a disparate people became Jews, which entailed the men adopting the practice of circumcision, everybody learning Hebrew, a certain percentage of those people becoming rabbis, and them all learning the complicated rituals and practices of Judaism. And them all, as a kingdom, adopting this practice overnight. If you believe that happened, you are a racist, cracker, neo-Nazi schmoo. Only white nationalists believe this crap. Yes, Bucky, they've done the tests They've done the DNA tests. It's been completely discounted. There is no such thing as the Kazarian. We welcome Cosmo Creator. When he's talking, he's lying. But anyway, it's strange Clif was talking about enlightenment. Clif is able to talk about enlightenment, right? And yet, somehow, he passed through the gates of enlightenment, but was still able to retain a huge, 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 huge amount of ego, anger, and all sorts of stuff. And he's saying this stuff now. But here's the thing about Clif High. Well, number one, he's not well. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. He's not well, okay? If you go back several months ago, the guy was in a very, very kind of different state. He was saying that, he had never been reincarnated as a woman, that there's these, he had gone to the fifth dimension in a laboratory. He says all sorts of different things at different times. He's presenting this way now. Look, I know myself when I'm not on when before I was on the medications and now. And even now, if I don't watch myself, or if I fall off, or if I go back into states of intoxication, I'm a completely different person. And also, I'll tell you another thing. Clif High recently had one of his main channels get locked down. He may be strategically changing his tunes. Remember, Bob White, you're mentioning Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. He hasn't mentioned Bitcoin or cryptocurrency except for in passing in a very, 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 very long time. If you go back to 2018, 2019, it was Bitcoin, Ethereum. Watch out, because according to the data set that I'm looking at, we're looking at buy now, because pretty soon, people that didn't get Bitcoin now are going to be saying, God, it's going to be the difference between. He was saying things like 600,000. We all know what he was saying. He was Mr. Cryptocurrency. That's where a lot of people first found out about this guy. But, Bob, I'm going to tell you, where a lot of people learned about him in cryptocurrency in 2016, 17, 18, a lot of other people could tell you, like Cosmo Creator will tell you about, some people knew about this guy back in the mid-90s. He was in, the first time I heard about him was in Mondo 2000. Does anyone remember the magazine Mondo 2000? When he was the WebBot guy and WebBot Analytics, and him and his friend selling the Atlas reports and all that stuff. You're glad you bought now, way back when. Okay, good. Be careful, you know what I mean? The secret is, you buy, if you bought the Atlas reports, okay. You bought the Atlas reports. You got to be rigorous. Go through those Atlas reports. Mostly wrong. Exactly. A stopped clock will be right twice a day. So if a person makes predictions, it's like, we were just watching a video by a Japanese guy talking about NVIDIA stock, and he bought NVIDIA stock. It looks like he bought NVIDIA stock when it did that massive thing in August, and he's panicking now because it just dropped. Lost this percentage, this huge percentage. if you go, I was doing research after the fact to try and figure out what was going on with people, and you see, just like with the crypto bros, now everyone stonks. There's 1,003 people on YouTube saying 1,003 already crazy, bizarro things about NVIDIA stocks and all these stocks, and do this, and the Tesla stocks and this stocks. And all these people, primarily what they're doing is just being like, back in the day with horse racing. There'd be these little magazines, there'd be these professional horse handicappers, or people with like sports, like the sports booking guys, betting guys. The primary business that they're involved in is selling their little horse, bullshit advice. It's not about being right. Or the psychics. There used to be this thing. It's like it was a known kind of practice. The great Matilda, psychic to the stars, will prove to you with this mailing that the power of her predictive talents, if Glenda, whoever, cannot predict the winner of next year's election, throw this away and never bother with her again. But if it turns out that she, successfully predicts the president of the United States, next year's election, then you will know that she is absolutely 100% the greatest psychic that you ever heard about. And what do? They print out, as much, as many mailers as there are people in the town of the state, half of which say the Democrat's going to win, half of which say the Republican's going to win, and you mail them out. Half of them are going to be dead wrong. Half of them are going to be dead right. It doesn't even matter, because a certain percentage of the people that receive the wrong information are still going to call you up because the dog just died, or their husband's away, or no one has talked to them in 10 years or whatever. And a greater percentage of the people that get the correct information are idiots, and they're going to call you. It's sales. And next year you do the same, next election for mayor or whatever, you do the same gosh darn thing. Bob White, I figure my Bitcoin will cover my property taxes so government can't take it away. Well, for now, but you know what I mean? You got your property taxes come due every year. When and if Social Security goes belly up, I have my crypt and metal and 401 I need to move. Of course, we don't own shit. No, listen, it is what it is, folks. Hey, remember, folks, if you've got cryptocurrency as a hedge against the collapse of the U.S. dollar, just remember this: if the U.S. dollar collapses, the power shuts off, and you're not going to be able to trade any crypto at all. And by the way, unless you are like Conan the Barbarian and the actual Chuck Norris from the movie Missing in Action, and able to fight off the gangs and the hordes, you're not going to be holding on to your gold and silver. Which people act like gold and silver. If the world falls apart tomorrow, right? If the world really falls apart, gold and silver is actually worthless. It is, because no one's going to give a shit about anything except food and water. And you get infection 1 in the post-apocalyptic world of tomorrow, you're dead. And by the way, all these survivalists and all this stuff, no one has what it really takes to make it in a world of the post-apocalyptic world of tomorrow. In a world of people like fighting over the last can of clinked peaches, or to like fight hordes off of their stopping them from assaulting or eating their kids. It's ridiculous. Alex Jones doesn't have what it takes. You know what I mean? Like, and we're all doomed, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What is the how do you know how much your Bitcoin is worth? People express the value of Bitcoin in what? You say, oh, my Bitcoin was what? I bought Bitcoin when it was worth what? X number of what? Dollars. And now it's worth more. More what? More Bitcoin? No, more dollars. Bitcoin, absent the US dollar, has no actual value. Everything's value is measured in dollars. We say hello to Sun Warrior. If there's no US dollar, there's no way to evaluate what Bitcoin is worth. No one buys anything in Bitcoin. It's a speculative thing. And people go, no, you don't understand. But I go, no, you don't understand. Because I was actually raised by people, right? No offense to my people. I was actually raised by generations of people who understood fucking money. I didn't just get involved in talking about Bitcoin the other day, like, some people, no offense, but I love you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about you personally, but there's people out here that are getting advice from, no offense, yokels who are just saying nonsense bullshit about fiat currencies and gold and silver and this, that, and the other thing, who have absolutely no effing idea what the hell they're talking about. No idea. All they are doing is promoting their personal businesses and, shilling for their sponsors of their YouTube channels and their internet radio shows, who are gold and silver companies and cryptocurrency companies. You don't understand the power of the blockchain. I absolutely 100% do. Oh, the contracts on the blockchain. I'm an attorney. Contracts in and of themselves, whether it's on the blockchain or but it's signed on the blockchain, so no one can. It's just ridiculous bullshit. You have no idea. I've been at conferences where old lawyers and young lawyers have been presented with these blockchain contract, speeches, by the same speeches that are presented at these blockchain conferences. When they're presented by these young and super hyper excited lawyers that are all into these blockchain contracts, but they're actually presented to other attorneys who have years and years of experience in contract law, and then these old attorneys present knowledgeable, interesting, articulated questions about contract law. These there's no answers. It just gets ripped apart. Bob White, how are you $50,000 out in fees if you're still an active lawyer? That is a ridiculous, moronic question. You don't understand anything about reality if you don't understand that. An attorney can't have $50,000 and can't. Here, I'll explain it to you very, very simply. Oh, now I know you're jealous because Clif got off. Now I wonder if you're Clif High. You mentioned that you have the Atlas reports. Are you just a fan? Are you just a fan of Clif? What's up? No. I'll explain it to you. This is how it happens. I got sued. First of all, I don't know if you read the lawsuit. The lawsuit against me, the charges against me were very different than the charges against Clif. Okay? It was just a matter of the charges against me were much more serious, and the risk was just greater. So I hired to cover myself and to make sure that the potential of $50,000 in unrecouped attorney's fees didn't turn into something possibly bigger. I just, got a qualified Colorado state attorney, qualified Colorado and federal attorney. That's how. And of course, that would have nothing to do with me being an active attorney. You know what I mean? But I'm still solvent. But it's okay. But if you're a fan of us both, why would you need to ask me such a question? But here we go, Bob White. The power will never go completely out unless EMP or everyone is FUBAR and only barter will live on. How could you guarantee that the power would never go out? You see, that's the problem with crypto bros. That's the problem with crypto bros. They always have an answer that involves something like the power will never go out. It's okay because this, it's okay with that. It's okay. It's going to be fine. But Bob, you can spitball, but when your spitballing gets into such a personal thing, and it's a ridiculous, it is what it is, and you're not a fan of me if you ask me a question like, if you make a statement like, how could you be an active lawyer and be out 50,000 and whatever? It is what it is. But I'll tell you something. Bob. I've had bigger debts, and I've paid them. And I'll have bigger debts, and I'll pay them. As have you. So you know, if you've paid the same amount of debts, then you know exactly how it's possible. Which goes back to, if you know how it's possible, bigger debts, that is. Well, then why would you ask me the question if you know the answer already? But I digress. But it's easy. I get distracted. I wish you the best with your cryptocurrency. I wish you the best with silver and gold, with precious metals. I'm not in the business of giving financial advice, so I will not say anything more than that. I was interested in this. When Clif High got to, and you're going to have to take my word on it because I don't think it's worth our while to go hunting around the Clif High video for me to get to the specific clip, which point where I unfortunately did not timestamp it, to find where he mentioned Stephen Greer as being the source of what he's pointing to. Here's what he had said earlier, prior to the summer. He had said, I don't know if I've written down somewhere. I may have gotten rid of it. He had said boldly, much in the same way that he made these predictions that had kind of, I think, luckily for him, lined up with the ear piercing by sniper of Donald Trump, that there were going to be riots in August specifically due to the revelation of UFO, UAP information by the government, either intentionally or unintentionally. It was going to be undeniable information about the aliens and it was going to lead to riots. And this was going to occur in August. UFO, UAP information, revelations, undeniable. That was going to be the trigger, and it was going to result in rioting. And this was going to occur in August. It's September 6th. It hasn't happened. What he said in this video that I have issue with because it's flagrant false advertising, because while it did purport to tell us about how to pay, did not, was that he's now stating that it appears that the UFO UAP revelations were in fact some sort of recent disclosure by one Dr. Stephen Greer. This took me back because I did not know that, Jonaside, FYI, tomorrow is their anniversary. We say congratulations to Renee and Jonaside on 11 years of marriage, and they never had a fight. Unlike me and Bob White. So I, of course, am familiar with the name Dr. Stephen Greer. I know about Dr. Stephen Greer. The last time I saw anything by Dr. Stephen Greer, I was at Contact in the Desert, 2019. While in a hotel with the person who I thought was my soulmate, though that appears to have not been the case. You only fight over CW. I thought you were in agreement that I'm the most fabulous person in the world, and that you practice my religion, and that, you know what I mean, I'm the one true CW. What the hell? I don't know what to believe anymore. Don't trigger me, Jonaside. Losing Walter was the second greatest loss of Contact in the Desert 2019. I watched a documentary, the latest documentary at the time, from about Dr. Stephen Greer. That 2019 Contact in the Desert seems to have been a high point in kind of ufology for me. You know, I don't know if other people share that experience. You know, after that, it seemed as though, to me, though this might just be my perception based on the fact that I got out of the scene, but look, then we had There was definitely a fall off in play. The great white hope that sued me departed from Gaia. The purported alliance president, MAGA QAnon chosen one, Donald Trump, failed to win a second term. And everything kind of shit the bed. No one ever became the second big thing. There was that whole, everything that, that whole To the Stars Academy, that was prior to like 2019. We had that Stephen Grush guy, but that was a flash in the pan. Yes, Lou Elizondo keeps on showing up on, Joe Rogan. People were clamoring for disclosure. There was disclosure. There was that Arrow report, which of course didn't say that there was stuff in the government's possession. Well, the shit is over for me. I was dismissed from the case. I was dismissed from the case. The case is still ongoing as far as the person that sued me has active cases against them now. What I predicted was going to happen has happened. I said, you sued all these people, including a multinational $1 billion company. That's not smart. Now they've got active cases against him, and I've got a motion for attorney's fees. My attorney's fees are unrecouped as of this moment, but we've got a motion for attorney's fees. I believe that my attorney's fees will become the responsibility of the party that sued me. But as far as ufology is concerned, we're back to where we were prior to Donald Trump. And all this latest brouhaha. See, the great thing, Bob, is that it doesn't matter because with the motion that we have, it's his attorneys are partially responsible. He's partially responsible, and it doesn't matter if a person cries broke because bankruptcy is not going to get rid of the kind of motion we have. It just is what it is. But I'm not gonna go into that. That's not what we're here for. What I was really interested at this point is, before we even get to Tim Pool, which we've been here for an hour and a half, is what are these things that he's talking about with Dr. Stephen Greer? I didn't even realize Dr. Stephen Greer had made any sort of divine or bigger, greater revelations. So I know I'm not going to spend a million years searching because you do not need me to spend a million years searching. So I'm just going to do a simple Google search to see if there's any new information. But look, folks, I know that there are people that love UFOs. Now, this sucks. This is the days of AI. I do a Google search for Dr. Stephen Greer, and the thing that comes up is vanished CIA. Stephen Greer, a prominent attorney. What? That maybe is a different Stephen Greer. Let me see what's going on. Here we go. Da 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 da. So there's new information. We're looking for new information. So for news. 1 month ago, Week of Wonder, UFOs, the U.S. government, and the push towards greater transparency. Contact the aliens through meditation. That's the old stuff. Yeah, here we go from May. A senior advisor to the U.S. government regarding. We'll try anything. Then it goes back to we got something for if I do a search for news. I've got 1 month ago. We'll just try things chronologically. Let's see what happens here. I've got Week of Wonder, UFOs, the U.S. government. This is from July of 2024. So this is like 2 months ago. This apparently is a website called WBUR.org on point. So this was a radio show. Week of Wonder, UFOs, the U.S. government, and the push towards greater transparency. On your NPR station today. This is NPR? Okay. Okay, let's see what happens. Journalism. And we got nothing. That's not it. All things considered. Oh, well, that's. Well. Oh, they just got a picture of him. Dr. Stephen Greer, ufologist found in the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. During a press conference on June 12th, 2023. That's a while ago. Let's not do that one. Mid anticipation is just religion dispatches. It looks like a religion article because we know that Dr. Stephen Greer, started off with this. He's got these CI, the C5 or whatever these contact the things that he does goes back to his. I did a video about it. Goes back to his days from transcendental meditation. It's like it's inductive hypnosis. You meditate and you contemplate and you think about contact with aliens, and then all of a sudden you're thinking about it, or a group of people you're thinking about it together, and then it's like induced group hypnosis. Disclosure Project this is an article from June 29th, 2024, from the Sun in Wellsville, News, Politics, and Culture. Lord knows what this is from. Take a look at this. Secret black projects have developed a satellite-based sensor system to identify and target incoming UFOs. Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive has been successfully released worldwide by Dr. Stephen Greer. This might be what Clif High was talking about. Decades of research and assembling of proof reveals that advanced energy propulsion technologies and inventions have been withheld from use by humanity. This suppression has developmentally set us back a century, and the environment has been left to suffer massive pollution as a result. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is an opinion piece by Frederick Sinclair. So this is an opinion piece appearing in the Sun from Wellsville, wherever the fuck this is from. Okay, so it's the Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive. So let's do a Google search for the Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive. See where that gets us from. Okay, the full text of the Disclosure Project briefing documents. We got a LinkedIn article. Serious Disclosures post. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we go to this from the Internet Archive. Let's see what happens here. Disclosure Project briefing document prepared for members of the press, members of the United States government, members of the U.S. scientific community, written and compiled by Dr. Stephen M. Greer, M.D., Director, and Theodore C. Loader, the third Ph.D., April 2001. Well, that's old news, right? And I don't think it's been around since 2001. I don't think that this is going to be the thing that's going to start riots today. How about this from the National Archives.gov? Records related to unidentified anomalous phenomena. This would be the Arrow report, I think, from 2024. 2024 National Defense Authorization Act. This is the one that got us the Arrow report, I think. Summary, unclassified, unidentified flying objects reporting. Yeah, we've looked at this. This is not the one from Stephen Greer. So, I don't feel like signing into LinkedIn. This is from June 12th, 2023. This is like a year ago. Dr. Stephen Greer, this is from the National Press Club. Dr. Stephen Greer is the world's leading authority on the subject of UFOs, UAPs. Great. Advanced Energy Propulsion Systems. Plugging his film, The Lost Century and How to Reclaim It, will be released on June 6, 2023. In this unprecedented event, Dr. Greer will be presenting extraordinary cases with live government blah, blah, blah. This is an ad for his appearance. I'm not really seeing anything that would look like a great amount of anything new released. It would appear that if unless I am missing something, what here we go. Okay, here we go. I get the Dr. Stephen Greer. So here we are on LinkedIn. Dr. Stephen. Wait. Yes, here we go. Boom. Okay. Think tanks, Washington. Okay, here we go. On this page. I don't want to work for him. What does that get me? About, okay, here we go. About, here we go. Page posts. Well, I don't want to watch this movie. Insights on Dr. Stephen Greer official. Total employees. How many employees? 3, it looks like. But does he have anything? I'm looking for the posts. Was his posts? Okay. 9 hours ago, alien reproduction vehicles. It's a 1 minute and 48-second video of man-made UFOs with the pictures of, nonsense. But do we have any He's got 3,273 followers on LinkedIn, but I'm looking for this supposed this thing, this big time thing that whatchamacallit, that Clif High was talking about with this paper, this paper they was talking about. And I'm already like 10 months ago, and I'm not seeing anything. Okay, here we go. No excuses. Recredible UFO knowledge. Access the DPIA Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive now. Link in bio. Okay. Home. About. The official business page for the work of Dr. Stephen Greer. Okay. Where's your bio? Do I have to go to your website? What if I go to your website? The all-new CE5 contact map. The library. Fibonacci sequence. Things to look for. What about this thing? Does anybody know what the hell I'm supposed to be looking for? AUP. Does anyone know what the fuck I'm supposed to do? This, I gotta tell you something. This is like, this is some bullshit. I gotta tell you something. They digitized all their whistleblower files and released them. No, I'm on LinkedIn, and it says to me, link in the bio, and then I go to the home. There you go. About, show all details. The official business page for the works of Dr. Stephen Greer. What if I go people? 3 associated members. Maybe I got to go to him. No. Posts. See, collection of active past ads by Dr. Stephen Greer official. Maybe that. No results found. That's not it. There's his website. Why would you do this? Why would you put it on your LinkedIn, but you wouldn't just give us these documents over here? Library, tones, home, network, introduction, contacts. Let me go to the library. Come on now. Hey, full of shit. Articles. Maybe that's articles. Documents. No posts yet. That's some bullshit. See a collection of active past. No, this is some bullshit, man. Industry, company size, 3 associated members, home. Why would I not be able to get this thing? Show all posts. You're full of shit. Here he is talking to that gal. I think it's full of shit. You know what I mean? Oh, and by the way, it wouldn't matter anyway, because we all know the work of Dr. Stephen Greer. With all due respect to Dr. Stephen Greer, he relies upon information that I know, like Corso, like the guy. He relies on things that I know. If you believe in Roswell, that's nice. Roswell didn't happen. It didn't happen. If you believe in Roswell, that's nice. It didn't happen. Ugh. A waste of my time. And we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and stop wasting my time. Here we go. Why would you tell me about it? Why wouldn't you just give me the link to the thing? I am losing steam. I am getting sick and tired of this bullshit. I'm just getting sick and tired of this. Okay. It is what it is. I think what I'm going to do is just rely upon the fact that I'm getting off Google. We say hello to Synthetic Rebellion. Yep. Yeah, we're done. I apologize. Perchance less than fascinating viewing. But here's what we can know. If they ask, does he do the research? You can say the following. We think so. Tim Pool, the gay guy that used to hang out with Cenk Uygur, and some other people that I never heard about, they got paid big time money to spread Russian propaganda about the Ukraine. They got them dead to rights. I'm not going to do what I just did before. If you don't want to take my word for it, don't take my word for it. They straight done did it. The federales have issued the subpoenas and the whatever. They got the proof, and they got Tim Pool on tape saying all this smack about Ukraine being our enemy. FYI, in case you're curious, Ukraine are not our enemy. Russia invaded them because Putin is a little bit like Hitler. There was no goddamn reason for Russia to invade Ukraine. Ukraine did not want to be invaded. The Ukrainian people weren't calling out to be rescued by Russia. The Ukrainians weren't oppressing the Russian people, the Russian speakers in the Ukraine. And even, it doesn't matter. If you speak a language and you were like, oh man, I wish everyone else here spoke this language. If you're in Quebec and you were like, oh man, I wish everyone in Canada spoke French, move to fucking France. Ukraine was a sovereign nation. Putin is a bad guy. He's always been a bad guy. Before the USSR turned into Russia, guess what Putin was doing? He was breaking stones on behalf of the KGB. And remember back in the day when Republicans and red-blooded, jerk-ass, overly patriotic Americans hated Russia? Remember those days? Whatever happened to those days? It almost seems like we live in a crazy, 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 crazy fucked up time. We got hippies, right? We got new age, crystal gazing, tarot card reading hippies, lionizing, money grubbing, pussy grabbing billionaires. On the same side as evangelical Christians act like this guy was, brought about by Jesus, right? And we got these people acting like Putin is a good guy. Why? Because they're terminally online morons who listen to other terminally ill morons saying nonsense. And by the way, you know what the real problem is? There are certain people that are they're just psychologically contrarian, right? Whatever the tide seems to be going, they just gotta go the other way. They just gotta think of themselves as a rebel. And because they might be in a set of circumstances where life is knocking them around a little bit, they grasp at any opportunity to feel better. Like, if there's people out there that have more money, more power, or more respect, or perceived power or respect in society, whereas they might be in a situation or circumstances where they might not have power or perceived power and respect in society. If they can feel like there's a way to understand the world that puts them in a kind of flipped script situation. Oh, these doctors, they think they know the answers, but it turns out they're just they call them doctors because they're indoctrinated. And I'm awake. I'm aware. It's all a matrix. It's a conspiracy. And I know the answers. I know what's really going on. I've done the research. And especially if there's a magical world online, where you can form a new identity, where instead of being a loser, you can be a winner, part of the new vanguard, waking people up, fighting against these freaks in government, these perverts who are stealing kids and part of this cabal and these evil people doing these evil things. And you can fight on behalf of the true nation heroes, the white hats, the alliance. And a real change is coming. It's going to change everything. And there's a new system. And the old system's breaking down. And when the new system comes around, the losers are going to be winners. And the people that held us down are all going to be arrested. That's a powerful thing. But if it's not true, it's not true. And for many, many years now at this point, I've been telling people, that it's just not true. And that New Age doesn't mean supporting Republican billionaires and being anti-gay and anti-communist and anti-socialist and racist and pro-cop. Never has and it never will be. But you've been hypnotized. And one day you're going to wake up and realize that something terrible has gone wrong in your life. And then nothing makes sense. And for many years, I endured the slings and arrows and accusations and lawsuits and slander. But it's gotten easier. Because it takes time to realize that it's an imperfect system. Mao Zedong died in his sleep, as did Stalin. But Muammar Gaddafi got caught out there, as did Saddam Hussein. And we know the wickedness of people who have done wicked things in today's modern era, and the ghosts of these people will not be remembered kindly. If we can remember to keep the historical records accurate. And that's not always easy to do. Donald Trump is going to be sentenced in New York, but at this point, days are counting down. I think it's just going to be 16, 15. I lose track of days, but also we can play this video. The guy's making no sense at all. No sense at all. He's destroyed the Republican Party. There used to be two parties, and that was a up system because there was barely any daylight between the two of them. Though one of them started to go absolutely bat crap crazy. Trevor H., Thomas Paine, and Thomas Jefferson are rolling in their grave. This whole system's a crack of poo. Yeah, and absolutely. And I wasn't even that crazy about those guys as it was. Take care, Charles Williamson. Take care. So there never really was two parties. No. Hey, look, you got to listen to what I said, Bob. I said there was not that much daylight between the two of them. We're splitting butt hairs, right? Remember, I hate Joe Biden. I don't like Kamala Harris. I don't like none of these people. I'm not one of on the left where I am, right? Even at my highest praise of Bernie Sanders, I never acted like these people act about Trump or the way some people acted about Ronald Reagan. I have no heroes in politicians. They can all go to hell. I've been 2 hours and 10 minutes. Jesus Christ. Here we go. They've it is what it is. I know. We get to the 2 hour and 10 minute mark. We get a dramatic drop off in play. We got to keep on. Got to reserve thing. I got to reserve my energy. We got to do what we got to do. Listen, Tim Pool absolutely took that bag and started saying shit. Just that was pure Russian propaganda. He wasn't the only one. Okay. Let's see what I want to do. Apparently gets worse. Tim Pool and Dave Rubin's Russia whoopsie gets worse. Oh God. Here we go. Also, I want. Do I reply to J. Scott Garrity? Hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. This is completely unnecessary. That'd be a waste of my time, waste of your time. Yo. Also, Ivan Teller's Ivan Teller, his what? Okay, here we go. We could do. What do you? J. Scott Garrity is a guy on TTRPG YouTube, but he made a video about Kamala Harris guaranteed to lose to Donald Trump because of her position. He does not have her position correct on the Israel-Palestine conflict, but he thinks she's going to lose on that issue. He's out to lunch. Also, Ivan Teller, or we could talk about Ivan Teller's, the channeler. His boss died. Okay, now here would be the juicy bit on this. Here's what we could explore as a theory. I made a video where I did an homage to Ivan Teller, aka an impersonation, aka an impersonation of Ivan Teller. I think I did a dead-on, perfect Ivan Teller impersonation. Now, when I did a dead-on impersonation of Ivan Teller, I did an impersonation of Ivan Teller channeling the number one dad sign, okay? Now, the day that I channeled Ivan Teller channeling the number one dad sign appears to be the day that Ivan Teller's elderly boss kicked the bucket. Now, here's the deal. It appears that Ivan Teller has had only one boss his entire life since he's been 15. I was going to originally make tonight's video, and it was going to be entitled, okay, this was going to be clickbait, granted, but here was going to be the clickbait title. Did I inadvertently kill a little old man with black magic? Okay, now listen, it gets worse, because I was going to use an AI generative art program. Ivan Teller often uses now generative. Ivan Teller's been killing it. Apparently, Ivan Teller is using this AI sound and art program to make music videos that are actually pretty good. It's sick. AI art is like bizarre, crazy good. But he's been using AI to make his thumbnails. So I was gonna make an AI art thumbnail, and check this out. This is so sick. I have the capacity to be. If anyone clips this, no one ever clips my shit except Spooky, that person who, whatever, dude. I didn't do this, okay? This is an idea, and I'm being forthright and honest about it because I'm a stupid person, and it's at the 2 hour and 16 mark, so no one's gonna ever watch this, okay? Why I'm admitting to this, and like, why would I say this? This is like the worst thing to say, but I'm telling you because it's like I'm like tempting fate. Here we go. I didn't do it. Okay. This was going to be the AI art prompt. Okay. It was going to be, what was it going to be? It was going to be, remember, the video title was going to be, did I inadvertently kill a little old man with black magic, right? And the AI art prompt I was going to use to generate the thumbnail was going to be, this is so sick, black magic teddy bear Jesus goes oops. I'm such an evil person, right? It's like whatchamacallit, it's like it's like a Blue Velvet. I'm slutty. I'm so bad. Hold on. Black magic Teddy Bear Jesus goes. Oops. Oh, God. Oh, yes. Oh, shit. This is terrible. You do know what happens to Chandler in the best round now. Here we go. So anyway, if we play the video, oh my God. Oh no. They don't get the oops part. Hold on, let's see if I can better here we go. Ooh, they got a new thing. So bad. Dick Cheney is voting for Kamala Harris. Don't know what to. Everyone's voting for. No one's voting for Donald Trump. No one is voting for Donald Trump. He's so screwed. I mean, like it's no offense. Like all the people that were like, oh my God, oh God, this is the one. Oh shit. Like, pick your poison. Oh my God. Or aw. Oh no, this oh my God. I think that one's going up on Patreon. I think that one's going up on Patreon. No, yeah, Bush Jr. endorsed Kamala for sure. No, he did. He did. Anyway, let's go to the Ivan Teller video because if we get insane biographical details. I don't know why I'm doing this to you people. I don't know. This is like murder in the Rue Morgue. If you follow me on Patreon, I went all in on Ivan Teller recently for no reason. Oh my God. I'm sorry to yawn. I gotta stop this shit. This is like this is getting ridiculous. Hold on. He's poor little old man. He like talks all this shit about him. Like it's like here we go. But the reason I say this is because it seems like this guy might have been like somewhat of a father figure to the dude. Why am I doing this? This is like bad news. Or should we play Donald Trump being incoherent? Do you want to play Donald Trump being incoherent, talking about we could do Ivan Teller talking about his dead boss with biographical details, including the fact that he's had the same boss basically since he's 15. Ivan Teller is a wedding photographer. We also learned those details about him. Or we could do, I can respond to J. Scott Garrity being wrong about Kamala Harris losing to Donald Trump in the upcoming election because of her stance on the stance that he thinks she has about Israel-Palestine. Or I could play Donald Trump being incoherent, talking about childcare. Or I could play nothing and we could just pull a tarot card and be done with this whole nightmare. Maybe we should just end it. Maybe we should just end it on me showing photos of me contemplating. I think I maybe just told you it. Donald Trump made no sense. He was rambling. Duh. Ivan Teller's disclosed that he's basically a wedding photographer and he's had the same boss since he was 15. And that dude died. What's Ivan Teller going to do if he's had the same job basically and the same boss since he was 15? That's like a major life thing, right? Or this guy, Sk8 Garrity, that no one cares about. Let's just fold. Fuck it. We're not doing it live. We've been here 2 hours and 23 minutes and 23 seconds. That's a magic sign. Bob White, I would hope become the boss. No. There was only one other employee, and it's like Ivan Teller was like, they had some sort of weird relationship. Ivan Teller was like not even, like, it's not even official that he was like a real, like, it was, that's what I'm saying. It was like a weird kind of like quasi-employee relationship. It was bizarre. But obviously, it's the same thing with Ivan Teller in this community. It's the same relationship that we have with me and Ivan Teller. That like my interest with Ivan Teller and Sk8 Garrity is the same thing with like Jay Essex. Like, it's fascinating to me, but y'all take like a yawn. I don't know why everyone's so fascinated with David Wilcock. When we talk about David Wilcock, people tune in. When we talk about douchebag McClure, who sued me, people tune in. But when I talk about people that I think are fascinating myself, like Ivan Teller, Jay Essex, or Sk8 Garrity, people are like, why are we talking about these people? What are you going to do? But I'm getting long in the tooth. I'm yawning. Yada, yada. Before everyone goes, Donald Trump was asked a question at the, we're going to do, before everyone goes, we're going to do speed round tarot cards. Real quick, like this. Ivan Teller's boss died. He was a very old man. Was there any connection between my channeling, like not channeling, but my homage to Ivan Teller and the channeling of the number one dad sign and the death of Ivan Teller's boss? Five of Swords. There's only a connection if we think so. There's a connection if we use the power of our brain to make a connection. If we want there to be a connection, there's going to be a connection, right? But like the 5 is the number of man, it's the number of people, right? But and wands as swords is the number of the brain, it's consciousness, it's the human intelligence. There's a connection because we're using the power of our mind to be like gods and to make the connection. That's what that says. So there's a connection because we're making the connection. You dig? Okay. Sk8 Garrity made a video about yada. What's up with my wondering about talking about that as a general thing? 8 of Pentacles. It's just work. It's just what I do. It's just kind of like, you know, if I could have gone to it, it would be the thing that I would have talked about and done because it's what I do. I belabor these points. I think about these things. You know, the 8 of Wands, it's like labor. It's just we keep on doing what we do. Wands, you know, not wands. It's discs. It's, you know, discs. It's of the earth. It's coins. It's, you know, but it's like the eternal struggle. It's, you know, working it. We just work, laboring. You know, it's what I'm prone to do. It's kind of what I'm programmed to do. My shtick. You know what I mean? I'm good at it. You know what I mean? Last but not least, Donald Trump was asked a question at the, you know, policeman secret ball. No, it was like the, you know, economic press conference, press corps, or whatever, about childcare. And he gave a rambling, nonsensical answer that clearly indicated to everyone in the room, though Fox News kept on trying to act like it was normal, not normal. If it was Joe Biden, they would have been like, this dude's brain is turned into jelly. But they kept on acting like we need to unpack it. No, you don't need to unpack it. It's very easy. You don't need to unpack it. It's very clear that the guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's talking gibberish. What is up with that? What is up with Donald Trump's inability to give a straight response to a very common answer that any presidential candidate should expect to hear about things that human beings would want to know about? Hey, what's your plan to deal with childcare, Mr. Wannabe President? And survey says, so Queen of Wands. It was a woman of color that asked him the question. It's a very, very poignant question. The Queen of Wands. It's a woman, right? Needs to get things done, keep the house in order. It's the queen. She's like, got to keep the kingdom in order, and she's got to take care of her people. And it's wands. It's powerful. It's making things happen. It's a force of nature. It's controlling. It's direct. It's forceful. And he was blown the fuck out because he doesn't have a brain for that sort of nurturing, necessary task, a human task that needs to be done, childcare. Because when it comes to children, apparently, according to recent revelations from the Jeffrey Epstein documents, this man, and according to statements he's made about his own fucking daughter, the only thing this guy knows how to do with children is have fun in prison, Donald Trump. But I've never been to prison, but I heard they don't take too kindly to people that may or may not have allegedly thrown the money in the face of a 13-year-old girl and told them to just go get a effing abortion. Allegedly. But why would I believe those things about you? Just because there are many, many pictures of you hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, and just because when you were asked about Ghislaine Maxwell, after she had already been convicted and she was on her way to prison, and you were asked about her and told you were being asked about her as she was on her way to prison, you said she, the procurer of young girls for pederast rapist Jeffrey Epstein, you know, the one that all these MAGA QAnon so caring about the children people, what a bunch of hypocrite bastards those people are. Hope karma doesn't come for them. I knew her. She's a very fine woman, and I wish her well. Don't find yourselves, Ethan Osborne, we say hello to you. Don't find yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, on the wrong side of history. And don't forget, folks, Black trans lives do matter, don't they? Of course they do. Right? I love you, I love you, I love you. If nobody told they loved you today, somebody just did. That somebody is CW Chanter. I don't always make sense, but I will make change. If you feel that I need to, feel free to drop me a line at c.w.chanter@gmail.com. And while you're there, feel free to ask me about my religion, Commonwealth Chanting. I'll send you a free PDF file. It's a PDF file. That's what they call them. It's a document. I'd send you a Word, but, not everyone can afford to pay Microsoft's, bills. What are you going to do? And then here's a starter packet for you. Read its spiritual text every day and chant every day. Okay? We're all in this together. Tune in to all my channels. Listen to everything I say. You don't have to believe any of it. And remember, you're not listening to me to feed my ego or anything. You listen to me because listening to me, see all these folks in the live chat there? You see the views? If you listen to me, you're making a connection between everyone else that's listening to me as well. Unique nodal singularities. You are what you eat from your head down to your feet. It's a strange idea, and it's probably incorrect. But in theory, when you die, you reconstitute a new universe on the other side. And you cluster around other people and other universes that share commonality with your universe. If your universe is just filled with just nonsense and nothing, but the unique things that are unique onto you will bring you closer to other things that share those same unique qualities. Not that many people will end up through this universe having been exposed to that much CW Chanter. See? Nodal singularities. Quite possibly just this crazy, bizarro thought. But if it's true, do you want to end up linked up with a whole bunch of what? You know what I mean? People that just lived in, Brisbane because they lived in Brisbane, or just, people that also watched, I don't know, like X-Files or that other guy? No. You could do worse. There's not that many people that'll end up listening to CW Chanter or practice Commonwealth Chanting or whatever. So you'll have a ground floor on being, your universe being like, kind of isolated and being unique, and therefore, it'll be better for you, trust me. And that's the theory. Is there any reason to believe that that's true, or that that's the way it'll work? Other than it's a thought that occurred to me, no. But I shared the idea with you, and you heard it. And now it's part of you forever. I think you should go with it. You might be thinking to yourselves, well, hey, but why don't they all just listen to me, meaning you? But they're not going to do that. They're already listening to me. So you just go with me. It's not an ego thing. I know it might seem like an ego thing, but it's not. Okay, and just let's just go with me. It'll be easier. And we're already at this point. It's already been 10 years. Fuck it. Just go with me. Also, I'm generally the right one. I'm just, you know what I mean? And I'm also open to suggestions. And I'm not going to have sex with any of your wives. I'm not that big an abusive guy. I know I'm an asshole, but trust me, if you read the Commonwealth Chanting document, you'll see I'm trying to de-weaponize it as best as I can. It's not easy. Listen to me. Subscribe to the Patreon. Saturday, I got to go. I'm going to see Bikini Kill on Saturday. So it might be, if not Sunday, we'll have to offset till Monday. But I'm doing more Patreon, trust me. I lost 2 Patreons. I was very upset about that. And then I realized one of the Patreons that I lost was a non-paying Patreon, meaning a person that was paying nothing a month quit Patreon. That was an ego blast. That hurt. They were paying, right? They were like, you know, you can give like the $1 a month. You give more than $1 a month, but you can give, to be a paying member of Patreon, you give at least a minimum of $1 a month. This person was giving nothing a month, meaning they were a non-paying member, but they were just signed up to Patreon at the, I'm not paying anything on Patreon, and they still quit. It's like being contacted by someone you haven't seen in like 10 years and just having them contact you just to let you know that they're not interested in being your friend anymore. I haven't seen you, but wait, why are you calling me to tell me you're not my friend anymore? I haven't seen you in like 10, 15 years. Yes, but it's very important to let you know I'm not interested in hearing from you anymore. But you haven't heard from me in 10 or 15 years. Look, let's just not make this difficult, okay? But you're making this difficult by look, okay? Can you just be an adult about this? I don't want to be your friend anymore. Oh, fine. It's awkward. It's always got to be about you, Jelly Beans, huh? I'm going through something here, and it's always got to be about you. Come on. No, we get it. I get it. Don't worry about it. Hey, hey, Bob White, okay? You sweet ass, wonderful motherfucker. That's totally not Clif High. I'm sure you're not. With all your sweet Bitcoin money and wonderful, insightful questions, and considering you're such a big fan of me, why not join my Patreon? If you can't bring yourself with all your quan to give me at least $1 a month, always remember that you can sign up for free. I can't win for losing in this game. Speaking of games, the guy that sued me, if you check out his YouTube page, okay, has debuted his video game footage of his new game. I gotta tell you, I wasn't expecting him to have anything. He debuted his new video game footage. Check it out. It is what it is. Okay, I'm not gonna make any comments here. Check out my Patreon. I may make comments in the future. I may not, but I may. And I love you. Okay? Peace be upon you until then. It's been a wild ride. I love you. I love you. Be good until then. Everyone I didn't say hello to, Jesus J. Everyone I didn't say hello to directly, I apologize for missing you. Really, 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 you're all the best. You're all the best. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. Everyone's fantastic. You are really, fantastic. Okay. Like, comment, and subscribe. Really, what do we say? We all do those wonderful things. Helps us in the algorithm, all that jazz. So the sign up for the Patreon and blah, 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 and all that jazz. Okay. Until then. Peace, love, and shenanigans, and all that jazz. And all that jazz. Okay? Adios.